Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for Friday, September the 30th, starting with the S&P on the daily chart. No real change in our count. Still heading lower, that's the main thing. A few little tweaks that we need to discuss, but heading down into the 35 area, maybe lower, but we'll just go step by step and count each wave as we go. So we could end up at 34, 33, depending on the market sentiment and those sort of things. But in a bit of a nutshell, we're looking from the top here as wave 1 and 2, and then we've been counting 5 waves down here for wave 3, and then we're looking for wave 4 and wave 5. Once we've got those, wherever that low is, then we'll be looking for an ABC back up through to here and then down again at this point. When we do get down to this point, wherever this may be down here, and we start seeing the market move up, a lot of folks will be suggesting that the low was in and so on and so on. So we'll just be a bit mindful of that, and look, hey, they could be right, but we will take it as always step by step. But the best trade that I see, I mean, we're doing okay so far, but the best trade I see is going from wave 2 going down to wave 3, which will be much longer, and that will take a little bit of navigation, because once we're past wave 1 here, once we get to wave 2, coming down for wave 1 over here, and wave 2 is the thing that we need to navigate. We can certainly trade down through here, but it's quite difficult. It's okay if you're in stocks, you know, to handle a wave 2 rally, but if you're leveraged up, it's a little bit tricky. So we'll duck and dive and weave through all of this, but it's really this side over here that we want. And because we're coming into old lows over here for this, the market hasn't really stepped out in third waves over here, but over here it will be clear of all of that, because in a way it's this market, when you think about it, has come down to the 4,000, basically had a low, had a bit of a stop here and had a low in here, and has rebounded back up and has taken a fair bit of wind out of the sails, and this is moving down, but not moving down quickly. But once it retests this here again and then lets go of it, it will move quite quickly coming down here, down into this third wave that will be down here, move pretty quickly down here. So this will be the one that we're looking for. But yeah, anyway, just shooting the breeze on that. But let's weave in here and look at a few things. So as it stands, we're looking for the low of wave 3. If I've made a mistake, then we're still in wave 4 at the moment, and we need to talk about a few things. So I'm going to go to our 50k tick chart here. I like a tick chart. So yeah, this is it with a little bit more sort of clarity as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then going down for wave 5, pretty close to the 35, may even be a bit lower, and then we'll have this wave 4 come back to this wave 4 here, and then we'll see this wave 5 come down. We'll see how far that comes down anyway, and then going back for wave 2 over here with an ABC, and then moving down. So let's go to, I think I want to have a look at, I think I've got stuff on the 10k, but I want to have a look at the 5 and the 2 perhaps, and the 1. So yeah, that's where we are. Let's go into the 10k. Okay, so yeah, this starts to map it out a little bit here. So some stocks have taken the low out down here, and some stocks haven't. We can count that as 5 waves here. So I'm thinking a little ABC here for wave. So this will be wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 down here for this. As you can see here too, we're in group 2, so 4 is a medium level, and then we've got 5, and after 5 we've got 1, 2, 3, 5, and then 8. When we talk about 8, we talk about group 2, which is 65 and 72. So we can see in here now that the market is the lower end of group 2 here, the 3650. The market's toying with that at the moment. It hasn't let go of it. As soon as it lets go of it, it'll drop pretty quickly. The market moves pretty quickly between group 2 and the number 5 here, in both directions, by the by. So that's where we are with this. let's continue our journey inwards. I should have an alternative count here somewhere. Okay, so this is an alternative count. I don't think this is the case because I've got 5 waves here. I'd have to get a little bit more complicated. I've got 3 here, 5 here, but if I've made a mistake, then this would be it here with wave 3 here, an A wave here, a B wave here, and the B wave wouldn't be finished yet because that is 5 waves there, so it would have to go up in 3 waves, and then it would have to come back down in another move and then go up in that direction, and wave B would have to be over here. That's the only way it could play out, really. So I just can't see that sort of, I can see it happening with stocks like Amazon and ones that haven't made new lows down here, but a lot of the stocks have made new lows down here. So yeah, I don't think this is the case, but the thing is, if you want to get past this, really, I guess, yeah, no, I can't see it happen. We've got 5 here. We should have a correction and then another 5. So that will take us lower. So I don't think this is the case. But anyway, just bear it in mind, okay? So I'm going to move into the, just have a look at 2 ticks. I just want to have a look at what I've done along the way here somewhere. Okay, that's not a lot of detail. Okay, that can go back up here. This one can go over here. I don't need this chart at the moment. I keep different charts so I can do different counts and things. So so the 1000 ticks, we'll just stay with the 1000 ticks here for a moment. So from the top here of wave 2, just to get your bearings, we're looking at this here as wave 1 here and 2 here. So counting down here as 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the 3rd wave, 4th wave, and then the 5th wave down here for 1 and 2 here. Then down for 1 here, an A and a B and a C for the Fed's comments here, and yeah, and then down for 1 and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 the 3rd. Yep. So 3rd, 4th, 5th. For the 3rd, the 4th, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you could go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. Either way is fine. Probably the second one's better. And then yesterday we were counting this up here, and we needed to have 5 waves up here. We needed a 4th wave and a 5th wave. We didn't get that. It just sort of rolled over from here. But I'm pretty clear we've got 1 and 2. And 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3rd, 4th and 5th here for this. So the A wave, the B wave and the C wave coming back to here, and then down for wave 3, 4 and 5 coming sort of bouncing along the 3500 here to the 3450 area, and then making our way back up for this wave 4 to come in line with this wave 4. So that's where I think that we are. And you know, when we talk about the bullish weekly cycle, we need to talk about the reverse of that, and that's played out sort of nicely, because in a bullish weekly cycle we would be buying on Thursday afternoon session, you know, but in a bear market we'd be selling in the afternoon, and then we would keep selling all the way through to Friday morning and Friday afternoon, and wherever Friday is going to go, that's where Monday and Tuesday will end up. So everything is on track for the bearish weekly cycle, and it's just good to keep that in mind. So obviously, in terms of trading, you could, based on that 5 waves there, we could turn that green here. That's 50-60%. We've got the A wave so far. We haven't quite got 5 waves up here. I can see 1 and 2 here, and we've got 1, 2, 3. So we're not quite there with wave A, and then there's going to be wave B back. Once wave B comes into play, you could also short that across here as well. But you could also look for a classic trading levels pattern sitting on that side of it over here as well. So making sure that it's, you know, starting from the bottom and working up across that level and moving on down. So, you know, getting getting 3 or 4 positions in this little area through here would be quite good. The 36 will play a part. It's not going to be that important, but it will play a part, and you can use it to add to positions in here as well. Once it becomes the resistance here, you can use that there as well. So day traders need to take money at the 35, most of it, and that will be where that is. Yeah, so that's that. You could probably bring that curtain down a little bit, but what you're looking for is 5 waves in that move here. You could also use the, yeah, I suppose what else is there? Yeah, anyway, you'll find your way in that. So the wave A should have roughly the same length as wave C. You kind of want wave C to be on more of an angle. I've got it kind of being a bit sharper at this point. So, so you kind of want it a bit lazier like that. The more lazier it is, like the weaker it is. So the more confidence you can have in shorting it. But if it's like that, don't do it, you know. The other point here too is that when we're talking about 36, we're talking about group 2 here, which is 65, 72 and 80 here, right? But that's a minor degree. The next degree lower, if we take 3600 and 3700 here, then we can look at the numbers. Well, from 600 we go 10, 20 and 30 to make group 1, and then 50 is the midpoint, which we're using here already. 5 is the second strongest number, and then we're after 5 is 8 here. And when we've got 8, let's put in 8 here, so there's 80 there, and then when we talk about 8, we talk about group 2, which would be 665. So just, I've got it at ending in 50 there, but you can get it done in your own way. And then we got group, so this is subgroup 2, not minor group 2. So this area here, this is where it's going to play. You can see it playing out here already in that instance. So that's your supply zone here, and this is where basically you want to be looking to short it. So there's a couple of things that you could do here. If the market trades up into group 2, gets up into 65 here, that 36 65, if the market can climb up there and get support and it's in there, that's fantastic, because when it becomes the resistance again, by just looking at a low here, then you can take that low out at that point, you know. So if it climbs up into group 2, then you can use that 65 to do the short trade at that point, you know, up into there. And the same thing, if it goes up to 80, then you can use the 72 here. You might get a situation like this here. Sometimes it's clear, it's not. See, you got that little low here, then you can short under that. In this case, it found support on that level and moved up onto the next and so on. But you'd be treating that to the downside. So it could hit group 2 like this. It come up and hit it, come back. It could be the 65 here rather. Come up and hit it, come back, go up there, and then it will drop back. So this drop back here, this one here, that's the one that you need to short. It's not the best trade, but it's the safest trade, you know. So that taking that pattern and putting it into this little area here, it could be. So you got to kind of read the play as it happens, and then obviously you can bring the volume into it to confirm the price action. And if you want to learn to read the volume in a very simple way, which I think is the right way, you can see, you can read that article, Pump Up the Volume, on our website. It'll be very it's very helpful. So that's, you know, as a musician reads score of music bar for bar, you can do that with volume as well. So anyway, that's enough rambling. So that's where I see the market at this point. Obviously, if this area becomes the support up here, then you'll need to look at the larger wave 4 being in play up there. So with that in mind, we'll look at the NASDAQ. So 2 things here. We could have the low in place. We've got wave 4 here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So we could have wave 3 in place, and in that case would go up for wave 4. I don't think it's the case, because it's very clear here that we have 5 waves down. Still we have 5 waves down, so we go up. But yeah, look, a lot of the stocks haven't made new lows here, so that means that they still need to come down further. So I don't think that's the case, but I have to mention it anyway. And yeah, it's good to know alternative counts. Same thing here again, the A wave not quite finished up here. We've got 1 and 2, and there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for third, fourth and fifth. So you'll basically see a classic trading levels pattern across that. We're in 11,000, and then we've got group 1, 1, 2 and 3 here. So we'll be playing around in here, the supply, the resistance over here, supply just meaning sellers, that will be at that level there. And then you can build in under these levels as it comes down here further and further, you know. That being in play, we should see wave 3, 4 and 5 come down in here. So all of this on the down, so I've got this as wave 1 here, and then wave 2 here, and this will be 3, 4, 5, even though I've put them in green here because I have to look at both sides of the market, both accounts. And this will be the same for the other markets, of course. So looking at the Russell here, so we're looking, just expand this up steadily. We've got 3, 4 and 5 to the third. The fourth wave pulled back up to 38.2% roughly, and don't have the best looking 5 waves down here, but so need to be a little bit careful about that. So shorting it under here would be good. If it finds support on top of subgroup 2 here, 1680, then we'll probably, and this trend line coming right through from the top there, you can just bring that over a little bit onto there. So you don't want that trend line finding support. If that trend line finds support, then you know that it's not wave 2 will be going higher at that point. So you want to see this in line with the other markets. This still needs to go like this. It will be something like this. Getting support on this on a line on an angle is just the same as a horizontal line. So the support will be where it comes up, comes back, pushes up through it, comes back, fluffs around there for a little while, and then eventually sort of sits up there. And all you need to do on the long side is just basically buy new highs at that one or that one. But it needs to migrate from one side to the other. That's what you kind of got to get in your noggin, you know. And when you're patient, then you'll see. If you're peaceful and patient, then it'll come to you. Otherwise, if you're chasing it, it's a whole different game. Okay, so the Dow as well. We're looking at this wave 3 low here with wave 4 here, and then 1. You can see the nice 5 waves here, you know, in this case, yeah. So it's pretty clear. There is overlap here, so you could look at it differently as well. So just be a little bit careful, and you can see the stochastics is up here on that, so that would suit wave A coming into play at this point. So up here somewhere, coming into this low, these highs here will play out at that point. In the Asian session, you'll probably see that after the Asian settles down for the first hour, then we'll see that wave 2 come into play here, and hopefully we'll see this move down lower. Obviously the 29 here, you want to be, you know, looking to, once that becomes the resistance, to be adding to that as well. So down here for 3 and ABC back for 4 and down. The only mistake I could make is that we've got this as an A and a B and a C, and we're going back up to the 30,000 as a retest for this wave 4 up there. That's the only mistake. And yeah, so but apart from that, if it stays under the trend line, all good, and you can work out the 61.8% for the DJ here as well. So that would be up here. You know, this is, sometimes it hits the 61.8% exactly, and it's like, you know, it sends shivers through your spine, and sometimes it's so hauntingly wrong you kind of wonder why you're wasting your time with it. But you know, the bottom line is that it's better to just count the wave structures, because this wave 2 technically can come to, you know, you can have come to 1 point from this top here. It could go 30-40% up and be wave 2, or it could be way back up here. So it could be anywhere, you know. Most of the time, if markets are bobbing along, they kind of do their 50% to 65%, or in that sort of space. Yeah, anyway, got to make a start somewhere, so that's what we're looking for. This will be yeah, okay, yeah, it does look like an impulse wave, so we will have a correction and then another 5. So if you can count those 5 here, then anything above that 5, then that's a no-go zone, we'll be going higher. Alrighty, I'll leave it all at that. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the weekend. Cheers.